Welcome back to Scottish Man Cave and welcome to this video, and I think this is very important, and I think this could be a little bit of hope potentially. Now I will say that I'm becoming a bit frustrated with the way video games are going at the minute, especially with physical copies. You know me guys, I'm a physical collector, as you can see behind me. And yeah, the kind of practices right now in the video game industry is not very good. A good example of that would be the new Nintendo key cards. You don't literally own the game, you're essentially renting the game or paying for the license, and Nintendo can basically take it from you like that. So the good thing is, in the UK, and I know in Europe as well, there's been a little bit of a, let's just say, a rebellion. Consumers, game collectors like myself, have had enough, and I'm going to show you why. So guys, in the UK, when there's like a debate or, there's issues within, in the UK, normally you can actually start a petition on the government website. The UK Parliament website, and as you can see guys, there's this petition right here for the UK government and Parliament, which a lot of big YouTubers have already signed. There's been a few videos. I was first made aware of this through Black Panther's video. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Big YouTuber, does like Need for Speed content, all that kind of stuff. And yes, so this is how I've became familiar what's going on here. Now, normally in the UK Parliament, you need 100,000 signatures for there to be a debate in Parliament. So MPs are required, I think by law, to debate in Parliament, whatever, topic needs discussed, if that's to do with, I don't know, like political kind of scenarios, all that kind of stuff. So in Parliament normally, if there's like legislation, all that kind of stuff, if like somebody puts 100,000 signatures towards, I don't know, a certain cause or something. So I know in the EU there's a similar kind of like rising, so to speak, a similar sort of consumer frustration going on. And American laws are completely different to EU and UK law. So anyway, without further ado, so Parliament considers all petitions that get more than 100,000 signatures for a debate, waiting for 3 days for a debate date. So they're waiting for a debate date, right? Already they've smashed out the park, which is great. So we've already got over 100,000 signatures. As you can see, I've just added my signature to the petition as well. So that's 163,000, right? So we're already 63,000 more than the required amount. But the more people that sign this, and the more growing frustration with us consumers, especially us physical collectors, the better. And this is why. So this is the annoying thing about it though. And this was back in February the 3rd, 2025. There are no plans to amend UK consumer law on disabling video games. Those selling games must comply with existing requirements in consumer law, and we will continue to monitor this issue. Now, this comes from this here. So it says here, prohibit publishers irretrievably disabling video games they have already sold. The government should update consumer law to prohibit publishers from disabling video games and related game assets / features they have already sold without recourse for customers to retain or repair them. So, of course, a lot of games are coming out broken from day one, and then you're needing patches, all that sort of stuff. We seek this as a statutory consumer right. I 100,000,000% agree with this. I feel, and I'm sure a lot of physical collectors feel, if you buy a game, it should 100% be on that disc when you buy it, When you buy a game, you own it. None of this, oh, we've got a 50 odd gigabyte download because it's not on the disc. Really, you're just paying for the license. And it's a big frustration for me as a collector. And that's why I've kind of been very careful with what I buy, especially recently. And as you can see, guys, the signatures are already going up as we speak. So it's a very frustrating thing where, you know, you could buy a PlayStation 2 game and it would work off the bat. There was no download patches. The games were very rarely broken. They were in a good state of mind, right? And I think people want to get back to that. And I'm myself included. As I say, like Nintendo with their key cards is an absolute disgrace. It's like I'm refusing to even consider buying, you know, Nintendo key cards kind of thing. And that's why I've not bought the Switch 2. But anyway, more details. Most video games sold can work indefinitely, but some have design elements that render the product non-functional at a time which the publisher controls, with no date provided at sale, right? And I'll show you some examples in a minute. We see this as a form of planned obsolescence. I can't even pronounce that word, sorry guys. Obsolescence, as customers can be deprived of their purchase. Exactly, 100%. So when you're buying a game, you expect it to own it. You know, if you're spending 80 quid on a game in particular, that is a lot of money. And especially in this like cost of living crisis and all that kind of crap, it's a lot of money to be buying a game that you don't own. And it's a bit of a disgrace. So with no date provided at sale, we see this as a form of planned obsolescence, as customers can be deprived of their purchase and cannot retain or repair the game, right? We think this practice is hostile to consumers, which I 100,000,000% agree with, entirely preventable, and have concerns existing laws do not address this problem. Thus, we believe government intervention is needed. 100,000,010%. I'm fed up of, you know, these gaming publishers and greedy companies, the likes of Nintendo, who are probably the worst at it right now, I will say, you know, for not putting the game on the cart or on the disc. And that is my biggest thing that frustrates me. And I'm going to go in and show you a few examples of some of the games and just explain my thoughts on the games. And like one of them baffles me, to be honest. And there's so many examples. So for like the PlayStation 3, you've got like the likes of Mag. And again, I was on this Reddit post here. So the likes of Mag, obviously the Crew is a big one. You cannot play the Crew right now. There's so many ones, but Mag seems to be the big one that people really miss, and that's from the PlayStation 3 generation. Warhawk as well was definitely one. But I've got a couple of examples, guys, and I'm actually going to show you the examples. And this is one in particular, and this is the first game, Overwatch. Yeah, so this is actually fascinating. So when you put Overwatch in to the Xbox Series X, it actually comes up with Overwatch 2, believe it or not. So Overwatch is actually one of the games that you cannot play online anymore, and I tried installing it, reinstalling it, and unfortunately it just kept coming up with Overwatch 2, as you can see there. There's Overwatch, but it goes straight into Overwatch 2. So again, people I think prefer the first Overwatch to Overwatch 2 potentially, and they should be given that option to play the original Overwatch, especially because they bought it on a disc. So that is my first example of games that just do not work out the box. So yeah, a bit of a shame really. I had so many good things about the original Overwatch, but I just never got round to playing it. I had so many other games to play, and it is a publisher I absolutely love, Activision Blizzard. They made the Warcraft series, and I absolutely loved Warcraft 2. So I wish And I really, really regret not trying this game when it was available. And yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, is Overwatch, the original Overwatch, better than Overwatch 2? The next game I want to talk about is Need for Speed 2015, and my good friend Simon O'Ryan, friend of the channel, make sure you check out Simon's channel if you love your Need for Speed content. But he's been playing this game, I've played it back in the day, and what an absolute, it's like one of the best newer Need for Speeds, I think. I think like the nighttime graphics on this is amazing, but there's a big thing. And now I've actually got the French copy for some weird reason. I don't know why I've picked up the French copy, but it is what it is. But this game is an absolute banger. But in French, that says requires internet. So when this game servers decide to go off, when EA, because EA is bad for this, let's be honest. When the servers go, I don't think we're going to manage to play Need for Speed. Which is an absolute shame, let's be honest, because this is actually a very, very underrated Need for Speed. So right away, you know, I've signed into the EA servers. It was the first thing that came up. And of course, I've got to sign that dreaded end user license agreement. So basically with the end user license agreement, I'm almost like agreeing that I don't really own the game. I'm just playing it online, and you know, EA can take it off whenever they want, kind of thing. And that's what we're kind of signing. They're quite sneaky. Licensing's residing in the European Union and all that. And I think this needs to change if physical media is going to live. And yeah, it's just a load of rubbish, let's be honest. So essentially, we're not owning the game, really. Yeah, so the good thing is Need for Speed is still up, I think, but as you can see, no news available. Players you may know, 0, snapshots, speed lists, crew play. But let's see if we can try the daily challenges. Oh, we've got to do the intro, right. So it has been a wee while since I've done this. And this is the issue, guys, it's online only, so I really wish they made this have an offline mode like the old Need for Speeds, because it is a really good game. And yes, it's over 10 years old now. And there's going to be a time that I think EA will take this down. And that's the shame about it. The only thing I would maybe wish is they even remade this game and then put it to an offline only mode, but let's be real, it's not happening. And do people really want to pay 80 quid for a game this old? Probably not. But it's a bit of a shame. It's a real shame. See, this just gives me a bit of nostalgia here, but what a beautiful looking game this is, even to this day. You know, over 10 years later. And I always preferred driving in the night in Need for Speed games, but I think it'd be a shame if this game just all of a sudden can never be played again. And yeah, a lot of people might not like this Need for Speed compared to like the very older ones, but this is one of the better newer Need for Speeds, I would say. Right, we need to do a race, but yeah, I think I'm getting old, guys, because I need my glasses to actually see the screen nowadays. I never used to be blind, let's be honest, but what a game this is. Yeah, what beautiful graphics. Like, it still holds up to this day. And I just wish, you know, it would have an offline kind of mode. It's been so long since I've actually played the Need for Speed game, so my handling's a bit dodgy, but it is the first mission, mind you. But it would just be a shame if this disappears, because it is a good game. Right, I think we're coming second. So I did finish second, but, you know, I've got to make this video, so we need to go to the next game. And the next game I've got to show you guys is Onrush. Now, you can play this offline, but it was built for being online. So I'm going to show you guys what exactly I mean. This is the sad thing about Onrush. It's such a fun game, and you'll see why in a second, but the offline servers are gone, unfortunately, and this game was built for online play, and you'll see why. And yeah, it's such a fun game, but as I say, you can't play it online anymore. And I don't know why the developers, Codemasters, decided to take it down. I don't know if it's because of the music rights or something, but even then, they could even just put in generic music rather than like the licensed music. But I'm gonna make a video on that anyway. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna show you some of the gameplay. Dynamo. This game is so fun, by the way, guys. The good thing is you can play it offline, but it's still a shame, and I might make an actual video on this, how fun this game is and why they need to bring it back in 2025. But essentially it's kind of like Burnout meets like Destruction Derby or Wreckfest in a way. And then, you know me, guys, I love a bit of Wreckfest. But this was online.
Hey, I'm having a good time.
And it's so fun. And basically the game is, you're not like looking to finish first place. You're just looking to get as much points on the board for your team. It was like a team game, and you get as much wrecks as possible. And you got like skills for, you know, the amount of like takedowns and stuff. So it's got that kind of Burnout kind of feel, but it was just so much fun back in the day. And I did play this game online when it was, you know, the online servers were on. And I just wish it was still here. So much fun, guys. Like, it's such a fun game. But I absolutely love this game. It's just a shame that nobody can play online. Because this would have been one of the games I would have done on the channel. With everyone. It's so fun. It's one of them hidden kind of gem kind of games. And now you can't play it online. And it's a shame.
We got him on the run.
And I'd love to play the music, but of course YouTube and their copyright policies. But so we win that round. So it's not about like finishing fast or getting to the finish line. It's more about
Let's go for a walk.
just getting your points as high as possible. And you like building your XP. And you've just got to get as much takedowns as possible. But yeah, you can tell this would be a fun online game right away.
You got spirit.
Like, here we go, let's see if we can get more takedowns. It's so fun. And that's the thing about video games, you know, when they're fun, it's just amazing. You have such a good time. But I think this is a game I'd love to be playing with the likes of Simon O'Ryan, who loves his racing games, you know. For example, I think Simon would love this kind of game if he's not played it already. But such a underrated game, and for the servers to be just gone, it's a shame. It's an absolute shame.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
But again, this would be more fun, you know, playing with friends. And it did come out for Xbox as well. I don't know if you can play that offline on the Xbox version. The PlayStation version you can. It's just a shame the servers are gone. It really is. But look at this, look at that. Come on, get a takedown. Oh! That was fun. You do get different cars, but you've got to unlock them if I remember right.
Again with the offensive.
But it just shows you online games can be fun, but when they disappear, I don't know if it's just a lack of player base on it, or... But I think if they added updates to the game, you know, new tracks and stuff, I think this game could have lived. But yeah, I don't want to get into too much detail, guys, because I am going to make a video on this, I think. But I absolutely love this game. The last game I want to speak about in this video is, of course, The Division 2. Right now, this game has had a bit of a resurgence in life. My good friend Alf the MVP, in particular, has been streaming this quite a lot, and I've been playing with Alf the MVP. He actually got me back into the Division 2. So the original Division and Division 2, both you can play online right now. And yeah, this is maybe a good example why games should be online for good, basically. If you buy this game, it should be online for good. Now, the only downside is with Division, again, it needs an online internet connection required. So, without further ado, I'll speak to you guys through the Division 2. The Division's so much fun. But the issue is, you want to play this game, even in solo mode, you have to be connected online. And that's the problem with this game. You have to be on the internet, even just to play solos like I'm doing just now. And I think I will make a future video with Alf the MVP about the Division 3, for example, because, as I say, he is a more die-hard fan of the Division than I am. But, you know, I think this game needs to be preserved because it's so good. I'm not the biggest Ubisoft kind of player, to be honest, but I've always loved the Division. I played this when it came out with my brother. I've not got the best gun for some reason. Just throw a grenade, why not? And it just needs to be saved. The good thing is, though, Ubisoft is supporting this game, which is decent. But you know, it is very... Oh, go away, go away. It's an old game now at this point, and it's lucky that it's actually lucky that a lot of people are, you know, coming back to the game right now. But is the Division 2 still going to be playable in, you know, say 10 years from now? That's the issue. That's the problem. You know, is this game going to be playable? But yeah, this game is so beautiful. Oh, loot a vending machine. There we go. It's such a good game, and it'd be a shame in, like, as I say, in a decade's time it disappears. Because again, that's the biggest thing I want for... There's a few things I want for Division 3, but I'll save it for the Alf the MVP video. But the biggest one related to this video is it's got to have offline only from the get-go. That's the issue, because it's a online only game. That's the big problem, you know. But it's such a beautiful game, a great franchise as well. I think Division 1's got the better better like environments with being in New York City, but I think Division 2's got the best gameplay. So yeah guys, let me know in the comments, what do you want for Division 3? But I think the biggest thing for me is, of course, is having an offline only mode. So that is just a few examples of, you know, some of the games that kind of relate to this UK government petition. My only fear about this UK government petition is, if they do take action, it could also lead to the death of physical games, and essentially we're kind of going that way anyway. I think eventually, maybe next generation, it might go all digital, so they get their way around it, to be honest. So you're not actually physically owning the game, it's just like a digital download. So for maybe us physical collectors, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. As I say, I thought Nintendo would have been the company that would have driven the physical kind of preservation, but they're doing the opposite thing. They're doing obviously the key cards, which I just refuse to buy. What's the point in buying a key card when you can just buy it digital? Because essentially you're not owning that physical cartridge. Same with Xbox. Well, Xbox is in dire straits as it is, to be honest. They just laid off 9,000 people, I believe, so they're not even worth in the conversation. So that just leaves Sony. What do you think Sony will do, guys? Let's be honest. I had to buy the disc drive to attach to the PS5. Do you think they still keep physical games in, you know, the PlayStation 6 generation? I'm really not sure. As a physical collector that loves to own his games and play the games like right away, not have any updates and downloads, I think physical collecting for video games could be very niche in the next 10 years. A lot of like casual gamers just will not own a physical collection like this. So yeah, I hope the UK government can do something, but let's be honest, I do not have much faith in the UK government, especially not two-tier Kia. I don't think anybody really does, to be honest. You know, but politics aside, anyway, I'm not a big fan of Westminster or the UK government anyway, but I hope there is a future still for physical gaming. I hope there's a future where you could just buy the game and you own it, and that is the big thing for me. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please consider signing that petition. I think the more signatures the better, I guess. I'd say if the UK government even do anything about it. I don't have much hope in them, but at least it's being addressed, from the consumer. So if you like this video, please consider hitting that like button and, hitting that subscribe button as well. It does help me get noticed on YouTube. And yeah guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care, have a nice day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Ciao.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
I've got a vote.